Hi everybody, this is Judy at Judy in the Kitchen. Today we're talking about food safety and we're focusing on preventing cross-contamination, and what we're focusing on today is biological contamination, preventing biological contamination by cross-contamination. Now for food safety, it's really important to keep your raw animal products that you intend to cook away from fresh foods that you intend to eat without cooking. What I'm referring to is when you're preparing raw meat, raw fish, poultry, and even eggs. You want to keep those foods completely away from anything that you're going to eat raw, like salad vegetables or cut up fruits or something like that. The raw animal products could very likely be contaminated with some sort of a harmful bacteria that can make us very sick if we ingest even the smallest amounts, because they will multiply inside of our body. Those foods need to be kept separate when you're shopping, bagging, storing, preparing, working with those foods in any way imaginable. One helpful thing that a lot of people do is they'll use color-coded cutting boards and maybe even utensils if they can find them. And they might have a cutting board that has a green rim or it's colored green, and they'll reserve that only for foods that are fresh and they're going to be eating them uncooked, like salad greens and salad vegetables. And then they might have another cutting board that is red or orange, and that might be designated for raw animal products only. You do not interchange the two. You always use the red or orange for the animal products. You always use the green for the foods that are going to be consumed raw and not cooked. And of course you want to wash them and sanitize them in between uses for sure, but that will also help to prevent the possibility of some cross-contamination or accidentally using the wrong cutting board for preparing salad vegetables. Another point which is really important is to never use the same plate or tray of whatever sort that you've put raw animal products on to put those same products on after they've been cooked, unless you've washed them really well and preferably sanitized them after washing them before using them again. A case in point is, let's say you're getting ready to grill outside and you've got your steak on a plate and you carry it outside and you put it on the grill. And then maybe you leave the plate out there, and when the steak is done, you put the steak back on that plate, carry it in the house, and get ready to eat it. Oh no! If you didn't clean that plate in between, there's going to be a lot of potentially serious harmful bacteria on that plate, especially if you leave it outside sitting in the sun. Oh, that's a perfect opportunity for those bacteria to say, oh yeah, man, let's go for it, and they reproduce, and then you're going to make yourself very sick that way. So don't do that. You know, if you use a plate, carry it outside, fine. Put it on the grill, come back in the house, and put that plate in the dishwasher or however you're going to do it, or wash it in hot soapy water and then sanitize it, or get yourself another plate and put that one in the dishwasher, whatever you want to do. But just remember, don't put a cooked piece of meat on a plate that has raw meat juices on it. Not a good idea. The same thing goes for cutting boards, okay? If you have your red or orange cutting board and you cut some raw chicken on there, and then you just set it aside and maybe something gets on there, or you accidentally put a carrot piece on there or something, don't eat that carrot piece. You don't want to do that, or you don't want to put your cooked chicken back on that same cutting board to maybe further cut it. No, you want to wash it really well first and sanitize it, but actually it's best not to use that cutting board for cooked food. Why? Because cutting boards can be porous depending upon what they're made out of, and they might have little tiny bumplets on them. You know, if it's a plastic one, it will have little roughness to it. If it's made out of wood or even bamboo, it may be somewhat porous, and those bacteria can get down into it, or even no matter how good you wash it, it may not all wash off. So if you have a cutting board designated for raw meats, raw animal products, leave it only for that, not for cooked products afterwards. Also, regarding biological contamination, you want to be sure to sanitize your kitchen counters and work areas after cutting or handling raw animal foods. Why? Even the tiniest little bit of raw meat juices that splash on your counter or get onto a knife that you are going to be using to prepare salad greens with can infect you. It can contaminate, and you'd be amazed at how fast that little bit of juice can get onto things and be spread all over the kitchen. Really, because when you're working in there, you're here and there and everywhere, and you're touching this and you're touching that, and you're at the sink and you're handling, you know, turning on the water faucet, all sorts of things, opening drawers to get knives out. That little bit of contamination that could be on your hand can get everywhere in no time, and then chances are you're not going to be able to sanitize it all. You're not going to find it all. So before you do anything else, after you cut up raw meat and you put it where it's going to go, into the pot or in the oven, wherever, sanitize the place really well to make sure you protect yourself and your loved ones. Let me know if you have any questions or comments below. This is Judi at Judi in the Kitchen. I hope it helps. Bye-bye.